Nuggets are down 3-1 in a series. Have we seen that before? Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It's Friday, September 25th, 2020. September is almost over. We're very much into the fall, very much into our school years, respectively, across the country. With that being said, joined alongside Gavin Tony, the NBA playoffs continuing to go. The Stanley Cup final continues. Last night, an interesting Thursday night football game. And next week is even worse, honestly, Gavin. I think it's Jets, and I forget who they play, but I'll also look at that after the show. Clearly, they're not going for ratings there. But with that being said, Gavin, joined along by you. We've been having some good conversation to continue having one after the show here today to continue talking and figuring out how we can utilize our platform to ensure justice, equality, transparency, and everything along those lines as we continue to touch on. Another friendly reminder, a couple Thursdays ago, fantastic conversation we had. We're going to be having a similar conversation like that next week here on the show, taking another day to bookmark from sports and discuss some real-world issues. But today is going to be a sports day, more or less. But, Gavin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. Listen, you're right. The talk continues. There's a serious problem going on in America right now, and we're going to touch on it in the upcoming week. And the conversation continues. Regarding the sports, Zach, I'm not happy today. All right, I am not happy with a lot of things in sports. But regarding me as a person, I'm great. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see Gavin Tony has officially joined Twitter. I'm enjoying reading your tweets an awful lot. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully, I was very active on our More Than Philly Twitter last night. For those that had 2 key posts on there, not too excited. I'm just having some late night thoughts about the Eagles quarterback situation. But
that one thought.
Everyone knows my thoughts on it. I mean, I've talked about it on the show. I defend Carson Wentz more or less. We're going to get to it because I do have some information that is pretty obvious as to why Carson Wentz mechanically has been off, and I think it's pretty important. Hopefully the coaching staff can find that and point it out to him. If I can do it, I think anybody should be able to. But with that being said, again, our schedule today talking about the Nuggets and the Lakers series. Again, Nuggets down 3-1. We've seen that before for sure. And then we talk about here the Heat and the Celtics series tonight. The Heat can possibly put this away. Possibly a little debate of, is Jimmy Butler really as good of a player? Is he getting as much credit as he deserves?
Yes, he is.
Chicago and his days in Minnesota, his days in Philadelphia. So we'll cover all that, and then we will finish the day off talking some Phillies, what they need to do, and then finally the Eagles, as well as talk about last night's game, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, and predictions for the games here in
fantasy football
Sunday.
In fantasy football, it was a great
fantasy
week.
Football, of course, we have to. Most definitely. But let's get started with it, Gavin. Last night, I mean, the Nuggets are a great team. They are not going away. They are not making this easy for the Lakers. But as of right now, Gavin, it's 3-1 in the series. You said this before. We talked about this before the series started. What happened if they go down 3-1? You said LeBron's going to finish. And that might be true. Let's see if your opinions change at all. The Nuggets and Lakers again last night. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Rajon Rondo stepped up for the team, both scoring, and Rondo was fantastic on the offensive glass. Did you get an opportunity to see that, Gavin? He was really getting a lot of offensive boards for them that were key, a lot of extra opportunities. Credit to Dwight Howard, looking like his former self back when he was with the Lakers back in the day. And on top of all of that, LeBron James, I'm still upset about, I don't know if it's coaching or what, but down the stretch why LeBron's not handling the ball. He's hesitant with jump shots right now. There are some problems with the Lakers despite the fact they're up 3-1. But, Gavin, I'll let you go first and kind of unwind what you saw here in Game 4.
First of all, Zach, to go on your last point, LeBron James is not shooting the ball at all that well in the bubble, in this series, and last night's game. Zach, the Nuggets realized something. It slapped them in their face. Zach, LeBron's hesitant to shoot mid-range shots and shots in general. Zach, there was a shot from the free throw line where he missed. Zach, he missed it, and it rimmed off the front of the rim and then bounced off, and the Nuggets go. Excuse me. Regarding the Rajon Rondo, he looked amazing last night on the glass. But this is one of the nights where the Clippers are. Wow, excuse me. This is a night where the Lakers. This is a night where the Lakers actually look good shooting wise. Anthony Davis had 34, LeBron had 26, and the supporting cast finally showed up. But Zach, there's one thing I should point out. If I look at the plus minus, everybody that was doing their job, except for Rondo. Rondo was -9, but everybody was doing their job. Everybody was in the positives. But the real concern is they were 33.3% from the three-point line last night. That's not good. That's not good. They got them to win, but it wasn't that good. And I look at Denver, on the other hand, no one really helped them except for Jamal Murray. Nikola Jokic had an average night. Jeremy Grant has 17 points. and Michael Michael Porter Jr. and Morris had 13 and 12. But they didn't shoot the ball that well. They shot better than Lakers from 3-point land, but this wasn't enough. So Zach, I'm gonna hand it to you. I gotta ask you, LeBron James messing up on mid-range shots and other shots. What's going on?
I am taking the Lakers in 5, and here's why. I think that the Nuggets are going to come out and give it all they got. They've been 2-0 so far in games down 3-1 this playoffs, which has been absolutely insane from a statistic standpoint as we continue to talk about that. But here's the big thing. LeBron is overdue for a really dominant night from everywhere. And I think that's coming in Game 5. I think it's going to come in Game 5. I think they're going to do their thing. Anthony Davis had an injury last night. I think it was his ankle, so we're going to have to see some information on that. Putting Dwight Howard in that starting lineup helped out a lot. JaVale McGee still coming off the bench. And again, a guy like Kyle Kuzma, someone on their bench, a role player. We talk about this all the time. One role player needs to go be exceptional that night. And if that happens, plus LeBron plays an above-average night for him, which already averaged for him in the playoffs is pretty much a 25, 30-point triple-double. And then Anthony Davis continues to do his thing. He's overdue to cool off, honestly. So, there's a whole lot of moving parts here. I do think that the Lakers can finish it off, but it wouldn't shock me if Nuggets can take one more, possibly 2, and force a Game 7, put the pressure on LeBron. But I do think that the Lakers do get it done.
Well, I disagree with you, Zach, and here's why. And the key point is, how's Anthony Davis' ankle really going to be? Zach, LeBron is not the guy in the bubble right now. It's Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the reason why they're here in the Western Conference Finals. Zach, Anthony Davis has been a problem for every team he played against so far. No team has been able to guard Anthony Davis. And Zach, I want to say this. If Anthony Davis' ankle is a problem, the Nuggets will win in 7 games. And I said it on my Twitter last night. Guys, follow me on Twitter and follow the show on Twitter. Go advertising right there. But Zach, I said it on my Twitter. The Nuggets will win in 7 if Anthony Davis' ankle is a problem. Because LeBron James, like I said, he's not been efficient. Efficient's the word, Zach. He has to be. He's not the old LeBron. And this LeBron, and let me talking to LeBron fans again. Everybody's talking about LeBron's about to win his 4th ring, but you gotta remember, there's no KD or Kyrie in the East. All right, there's no Steph Curry this year in the Western Conference. The Clippers and Pandemic P. All right, yeah, it's not playoff P, it's Pandemic P. Zach, I gave him a new nickname. He didn't look good in the bubble, and so there's going to be a huge asterisk to this championship of LeBron. And the reason I just named there, you can go more. 80's carrying LeBron. That's true. He really has. So, Zach, I think the Nuggets win in 7, but if Anthony Davis' ankle isn't good to go, it's going to be a problem for the Lakers because no one's going to be able to step up, and that was the problem last year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, interesting continuing. Tomorrow they play in a possible elimination game for the Nuggets. Can the Lakers get it done? We'll figure all that out. Remember, the Clippers were up 3-1. The Jazz were up 3-1. So a lot of moving pieces there for sure. LeBron's been on the other side of a 3-1 series. I have no doubt in my mind they should be able to get it done, or else I'm kind of done with the season altogether if the Lakers end up losing from a 3-1. But the Nuggets have had a great story, and again, put some respect on their name without a doubt. They're going to be a team that's scary for the future to come. And honestly, they're a much more stable team in the locker room and overall than the Los Angeles Clippers are, in my opinion, at least.
I think when it comes to the Clippers, the chemistry wasn't there for none of those guys. The locker room had problems. You had guys that felt like Kawhi Leonard was being baby because he wasn't doing back-to-back, and then you had a guy in Paul George who mentally wasn't there, but physically he was. I think physically, I don't know. Any dude that hits the backboard, I don't know if you're there at all. But Zach, regarding to the Nuggets, they have a chance. All right, they beat arguably the best team in the West, and they beat a guy in Donovan Mitchell who was having a series to remember. So I can see it happening. And LeBron, once again, LeBron's down right now. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on with LeBron's mind regarding the world problems and now his team problems. But I think the Nuggets can get it done, and I would love to see a new team in the West.
Yeah, without a doubt. Gavin, you only go for 3 rooting against the Lakers this year. Let's see if they can change it. Again, the Nuggets are a great team, and they're definitely going to be a team of concern for the future. And speaking of the future, possibly much earlier than we thought, Jimmy Butler decided to go to Miami. He wanted his own team. Good coach, good city, good fan base, he said. I like the way that D-Wade was treated last year in that Heat Sixers game where he was in his last ever home game. That was what motivated him to want to go to Miami. Go ahead and draft a few good players. Go ahead and acquire a few others, some veterans like Andre Iguodala. Gavin, I mean, the Heat are up 3-1 on Boston. All right, this isn't a fluke. They're a good team. No problem in the first round against a red-hot Pacers team with T.J. Warren. Remember T.J. Warren way back when, early in the bubble? And then you have the Milwaukee Bucks. No problem beating them, honestly. The only game that the Bucks won, they were on the brink of elimination there without Giannis. And then you go on and you have the Boston Celtics, who are a great team. Gavin, they're one of the most perfectly built teams in the league. Gordon Hayward's back healthy. Great bench player like Marcus Smart. Again, Taco Fall is yet to see his minutes. I know, Gavin, you're rooting for that. But here's the reality of the situation. They're down 3-1, the Celtics are. Are the Heat going to finish it off tonight, Gavin?
They are, and here's why. The Heat are playing unselfish basketball, something that the other team is doing. And what I mean by that is it feels like when one guy scores on the Celtics, so Kemba Walker scores and does a beautiful move, then Tatum has to do his beautiful move. They're not playing team basketball. They look like a mess offensively. Defensively, they're not really defensively great right now, as you normally see them. They're being beat by a guy in Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, who did a 37 bomb on him, and Jimmy Butler, who isn't the best offensive player, but damn it, he looks like it right now, Zach. I mean, oh my goodness.
Clutch. He's been knocking down shots when they need it.
Knocking down shots when and he's been the leader. Tyler Hero said he's the big brother to him. So Zach, I think that he get it done tonight, if not on Sunday. Regarding, I hope they don't really have an answer for Bam Adebayo. That's the real thing for the Celtics, is they just never had an answer for Bam Adebayo. It's been Bam with the block, then the zone defense that the Heat been playing as well. The Celtics are struggling, and the Celtics are also crumbling before our eyes. This is going to go down as one of the teams that were, you want to say, a regular season team. I know Dom, a great friend of the show, he always says the Bucks are a great regular season team, just like Mike Budenholzer is a great regular season coach. But the Boston Celtics aren't a great postseason team. They had one great year, and then the last 2 years has been a whole bunch of disappointments for them.
You know, they come up short past 4 years, whether at the hands of LeBron or this year possibly at the hands of Jimmy Butler last year, Giannis knocking out that Celtics team, which was playing a lot of me ball with Kyrie Irving there. We thought they fixed their problem this year. They've really glued together well. Great coach. Shows you anything can happen for sure. We don't know how it would look if it wasn't in the bubble and we had games at the Garden, we had games down at South Beach. But what we currently have is what we currently have. I do have Miami finishing off tonight, and they're going to go out with everything they have and just to get their job done. Tyler Hero, I think, has been doing a fantastic job for that team. Who would have thought? So, with that being said, Gavin, we do have one more topic here on the NBA. I'm not sure if you saw the report, John Clark from NBC 10 reporting on this yesterday. Mike D'Antoni is a possible favorite in the Sixers front office because they believe he can lure James Harden to the Sixers. We talked about this yesterday briefly as a possibility if he does come here. Harden will be a free agent in 2 years, or possibly there could be a trade probably involving Ben Simmons. I'm not sure if they'd put Ben Simmons alongside Russell Westbrook, but we'd see what would happen there. But it looks like you would trade one of your superstars. A James Harden, Joel Embiid duo would probably be one of the scariest in the league. Again, speculation only, so I do have to ask you, Gavin, what are your thoughts on some of these early reports?
I don't like it. I like the idea of James Harden coming, but I don't like the idea of the coach coming because remember, Zach, he doesn't like using centers, and this is not a really great three-point shooting team, and you're adding a coach that loves threes. If you shoot a mid-range, you're going to force you to shoot the three ball. Zach, he has a guy in James Harden. All he loves to shoot threes and travel his way. Eurostep his way to the free throw line and gets arguably almost 20 shots a game. And then you got a guy in Russell Westbrook who can't shoot the three ball. Well, he used to be able to, but now he can't do it. According to the last series we saw. But Zach, I don't like this fit whatsoever. I like the idea of James Harden maybe, but then would that even work here? You have to have the right pieces around the duo. Zach, I like what we have right here. You have a guy in Ben Simmons who's arguably a top 10 player in the league. You got a guy in Joel Embiid who you could argue on the day. By the way, congratulations, Joel Embiid, with the baby boy.
Yep.
Baby boy. Congratulations to JoJo. Great father. He's gonna be. Can't wait to see his kid grow up. When it comes back to basketball, Joel Embiid could be the best center in the league when he wants to be, and you gotta have a coach that can push him to be that. He has to figure out if you want to be a Shaquille O'Neal or just want to be a Hakeem Olajuwon. Right now, he picks between either one. But I think right now, Mike D'Antoni is not the best bet. The best fit would have been Billy Donovan. So I think the next guy in line should be Tyronn Lue.
Yeah, I'm going either one. I'm still trying to figure out my mind here. You need to be able to work with a big. You got to develop plays for Embiid and Simmons, figure out a way to make it work, whether Simmons at the 1 or at the 4, so we'll have to figure all that out. And trade speculations are going to have to start coming out soon, so we'll talk about those. Possibly Buddy Hield has been mentioned as a name that could come here in a Tobias Harris and a few picks away trade. We'll go through all the trade rumors after the season when right before the trades all begin going on here in the offseason, so we'll cover all that following the completion of the NBA Finals here in a few weeks. But with that being said, coming up after this, we're going to be talking about Major League Baseball. Can the Phillies make the push? They're a half game out of the 8th spot right now behind the Gabe Kapler San Francisco Giants. Man, would that be a shot in the face if Gabe Kapler...
False advertising. That's what they keep doing.
So we'll be talking about that after this. We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom-designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode. As Gavin said, he's got his frustrations. I'm going to let him sound off first here. 3 games against the Rays up here. The Marlins have 3 against the Yankees. We got to win 1 more than Miami in order to take that spot in the playoffs. Gavin, what are your thoughts?
It's doable. It's doable. But here's the thing. Do you want to see this team in there? I don't. This bullpen sucks. Zach, there was a stat that said if the bullpen doesn't blow many of these leads as it did, the Phillies would have been 39-9, arguably is just as great as the Dodgers, would have been top in the NL entirely. But this bullpen sucks. You have an idiot general manager, and I'm not talking about Joe Girardi. Love Joe. Joe, please come back. And we apologize for this, how garbage this bullpen is. You got a guy in Matt Klentak who can't put a team together to save his life. All right, he was like, oh, well, Sixto Sanchez is having a really good year. We don't care. Sign JT Realmuto. I don't give a damn about what Sixto is doing in Miami. Zach, I think the trade for JT Realmuto is a pretty fantastic idea, but here's the problem. If you don't sign him, it doesn't matter what you did because he's not here no more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's another thing too. And Zach, and I'm going to bring this up. You talk about this bullpen. David Robertson, Seranthony Dominguez, right? And the reason why we bring those 2 names up is David Robertson, we only saw him for about 10 or 11 games last year, and he hasn't played a game since. And then you got Seranthony Dominguez, who hurt his elbow, ladies and gentlemen, who needs Tommy John surgery, but wait until this year to get it. So you won't have Seranthony Dominguez this year, and you won't have him that much next year either. And this team is a disgrace because of that. So what do you have? You have Brandon Workman, who gets work sometimes, no pun intended. He is a work man, but he doesn't go to work. He gets worked, all right? And then you have a guy and Tommy Hunter, who's sometimes good and sometimes garbage. I don't know who else is in this bullpen. You got Adam Morgan, who, by the way, who looks decent and looks garbage. And then this bum, Nick Pivetta, who you sent to Boston. By the way, Zach, the one day when the Phillies bullpen was struggling, right? Nick Pivetta had 3 scoreless innings. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 of them. And you couldn't do it here. Whenever you did it here, you was a straight home run and fly ball guy. So I don't want to hear anything about Sixto Sanchez or anybody else. Sign JT Realmuto, and you got to get the hell out of Philadelphia because I'm sick and tired of you. Every time I go to the city, just to know you're in the presence of the city makes me want to cry. Zach, please go ahead.
You're right. I mean, this has been a horrible situation for this team. You go out and you say last year you're going to spend stupid money. The best you get Zach Wheeler, nothing against him, but there were a lot of good options out there. And the failure to build a bullpen after what we saw last season is a disgrace. Your job as the general manager of this team is to make the right decision. First of all, the offseason starts off real great, Gavin, okay? Matt Klentak. Let's keep Gabe Kapler, John Middleton. Now I'm going to fire him. You jump over your GM's head. Why not fire him? Really? Like why can't you fire him at that point? And now here's what happens, okay? Not only do they not make the best decisions in the offseason, you get Didi, credit. You don't re-sign JT. You fight him in court. I mean, he's the best catcher in baseball. We fight him in court for. In reality here, you take a look at this team. They start the disaster this season. You lose to the Marlins. You have the coronavirus scare. You come back. You're hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold all dang year. Bryce Harper's dealing with injuries right now. And now, after all of this, Matt Klentak has the audacity to speak. Oh, look at all these great pieces. Like, that's on you, dude. Anyone with a brain would have traded for JT Realmuto. But if you let him go after this year, it has been the biggest waste of a trade in Phillies history. The biggest waste.
And the problem, too, is, excuse me, the problem, too, is, Zach, you're right. He doesn't have anyone with a brain could do that. Hell, Zach, I'm not as, well, I think I might be smarter than Matt Klentak because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Zach, we don't know what he's doing. And here's the thing, too. The fact that this guy wanted to keep Gabe Kapler because he was his friend and decided because he was his friend, he didn't want to. It wasn't the best interest in the club. You know it was the best interest in the club to fire him. That's why Joe Girardi's here. And John Middleton, I have nothing but respect for you. But you jump over him just to get rid of the guy. Here's an idea. Why don't you get rid of him too? They want to be friends so bad, maybe they could both get a job in San Francisco. Maybe they both like it. And Zach, one last thing, because the Phillies, the Phillies are a disappointment. And there's another team across the street that does the same damn thing every Sunday. But I'm not worried about them right now because we're talking about the Phillies. Zach, you have the color red on. Maybe that might be a Phillies shirt. I don't know. I hope it's not because that's disappointment. This color is red, and that irritates me. But Zach, here's the thing. And I'm trying to be nice when I say this. There's a guy in the front office that's okay with being a loser. He's accepting the losing culture. Hell, if you call him, I'm not going to call him Matt Klentak. I'm going to call him Matt the Loser because he accepts losing. He knew Gabe Kapler wasn't nothing. The only reason why Gabe Kapler is relevant now is because he has a decent team in San Francisco doing their job, but the general manager is a loser. All right, he's a loser, Zach. And I don't like calling people losers because I don't like being negative towards people. I like uplifting people. I like to unite through sports and everything. But this guy's a loser, and get the heck out of my city. Please.
There better be some big moves this offseason. We don't know what it's going to look like, but
it better be him. He's better be.
To recap here, Gavin, the Phillies, if they win tonight, the Giants have a doubleheader against the Padres. They play 4 games in the next 3 days. If the Phillies can take all 3 games and the Giants just lose 1 or 2, the Phillies take that spot. If the Marlins lose against the Yankees those 3 games and we can win 2 or 3 against the Rays, we take that spot. The playoffs are open. We'll have to see what happens and how it plays out on Monday. Coming up after this, a recap of Thursday Night Football, and looking forward here for our predictions on the Eagles and fantasy football coming up after this.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
Jacksonville, Miami, not really the most exciting game of the week, but Fitzmagic showed up. They got Myles Gaskin in their backfield, who looked pretty good. Gavin, Dolphins, we talked about before, they're developing a winning culture. I like Miami a lot. Not a big surprise, but when you had Miami winning, I had Jacksonville winning, but 18 of 20, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Jordan Howard had himself a touchdown. For some reason, they paid him and Breida just to not really use him. It's an interesting move by them, but Gardner Minshew, 2 turnovers, 1 interception, 1 fumble, 30 of 42. 275 yards. His top receiver was out last night. Not much there, but you want to talk about more draft mistakes for this team? The Eagles could have drafted Laviska Shenault in the, I think it was the first round they could have drafted him in, but I would have taken him. He was really talented out of Colorado. At first, the mock draft had us taking him. Justin Jefferson was also there. We'll get to that another time. But bottom line here, Gavin, what are some of your thoughts from last night's game?
Well, I thought the Miami Dolphins offense looked well, and for a game that wasn't really favored by me, it's actually really good. The Miami Dolphins just came out there and we just did what I was saying they're going to, just come out there and show their strength. Zach, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, you're right. They are building a winning culture down there. They want to win. They're tired of being the losers. Last year, they weren't even that bad last year, Zach. Apparently, they took a depleted Eagles team and beat them. Thanks a lot, Doug Peterson, and defense and Jim Sports and Carson Wentz. And I can go on and on, but I just use my voice for Matt Klentak, who needs to get the hell out of the city. But going back to the team, the Dolphins, Zach, if Tua Tagovailoa were to play, I think it would be a magical thing in Miami. I think Miami's defense is going to be something magical too, even though they're without Byron Jones right now with an Achilles and I think groin injury as well as that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Zach, Miami's on the up and coming, and Jacksonville, there's some phase that they want to tank for Tua, or excuse me, tank for Trevor, tank for Trevor, or if they want to actually win, I think they should go out and get Trevor Lawrence. Gardner Minshew is not going to be the guy, but Doug Costin's on the football team, so that's why I'm happy about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we'll see what happens. It wasn't a horrible game last night. Miami is really turning themselves around. Props to them. They've done a really nice tanking process so far, and I like their coach a lot in Brian Flores. He's a really talented coach who really cares about his players and is trying to build a good culture. With that being said, Gavin, week 3, pick 'em. We're going to go through the teams rapid fire here in our final 3 minutes, pick the teams, and then we'll finally do our Eagles predictions at the end, and then a overview for what the fantasy looks like in our league for this weekend. Gavin, 49ers and Giants, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Giants this week. No, Jimmy Garoppolo is banged up, and everybody else is on. The defense is banged up. So give me Daniel Jones. They're going to get the first win today or this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to say the 49ers. I know they're banged up, but I trust their run game still. They still have a couple running backs who are under the radar. I think their schemes are good enough. It doesn't matter necessarily who's running, but like you said, it's going to be a close one. I predict it probably like 21-18, some weird score like that, a game-winning field goal to secure it. Next game, Washington at the Browns. Gavin, who are you taking?
I'm taking Baker Mayfield, surprisingly. I'm not going to speak on Baker Mayfield. He's trying to put the ball into his playmakers' hands.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to agree with you on that one. Browns over Washington. Raiders and Patriots in Foxborough. Gavin, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Raiders. Josh Jacobs is on a tear right now, and Derek Carr and the offense is looking fantastic. John Gruden really has something special going on, too. And the defense is really good, too, Zach.
Yeah, no, I mean, you make a good point. Sorry, I'm going to take New England. I think that the Patriots still aren't going to lose 2 games in a row. I'm going to take the Patriots in a close one, but I think it's going to be a good defensive effort by New England. Bears and Falcons. This is an interesting one for the week. If I had to pick a tie, it'd probably be this one with Gavin. I'm going with the Chicago Bears, honestly. I think that the Atlanta Falcons are just not to be trusted. It's time for Dan Quinn to get out of there, possibly Matt Ryan at some point, but I like how the Bears have been looking. I think Mitch Trubisky will have no problem against that defense.
Well, I'm picking the Falcons because, number one, they owe me because Cowboys fans have been talking all week long. And 2, you're right, Zach. Dan Quinn does have to go, but Falcons, you owe me. So I'm picking the Falcons.
Next game here, the Bills and the Rams. Gavin, who are you taking?
I like the Bills in this matchup. They're at home. I know it doesn't mean much because without fans, but Josh Allen's having an MVP early prediction already.
You know, either him, Rodgers, or Russell Wilson for sure as of right now. But I'm going to go with the Rams here. I think the Rams have really hit their strides. The Bills have not been strong against the run game. They have a great secondary, so possibly they can fool Jared Goff. But I'm going to take the Rams in a close one. Gavin, Texans and Steelers. All 3 Watt brothers will be playing in that game. Who are you taking?
I'm going to be taking the Texans this game. I think Deshaun Watson 0-2. It's really unfair. You go against Kansas City, then you go against Baltimore. So I think he gets his first win this week.
I think it'll be a close one. I'm still concerned about the Steelers' offense, but I'm going to take the Steelers, and their defense is simply too elite against some of the lack of playmaking that the Texans have. It's nothing against Deshaun Watson. They just don't have the pieces that they need to have around him. And coming up next year, the Titans and the Vikings. Gavin, I'm taking the Titans. I don't know if you agree or not, but the Titans have been a great team so far this year. The defense has been a little bit hot and cold, but I'm taking them. Minnesota's not looking good.
Well, I agree with you, Zach. I'm going to take the Titans as well. Kirk Cousins does not look great at all, and they're struggling offensively, and their defense is a little banged up as well.
Panthers, Chargers. Gavin, I'm going with the Chargers. Justin Herbert secures his first win as a starting quarterback. What are you saying?
I'm going to go with the Chargers as well, Zach. Christian McCaffrey, good for me because on fantasy football side, I know you had him, but Justin Herbert's going to get his first career win. He almost got it last week versus the Kansas City.
Yeah, he had a great effort. That team actually was really good. They have a good running back there as well. All right, Gavin, not much of – I mean, I don't know, actually. I'm curious your thoughts. Jets and Colts. I'm taking the Colts. I just hate the Jets so much. I don't think they're winning a game this year.
Well, Zach, that was a little bit biased, but I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm taking the Colts, too. I hate Adam Gase. Adam Gase is a horrible coach. Everything he touches turns to mush, and he needs to go, and along with the owner, and they need to clean from to the tippy top to the bottom.
All right, Gavin, Seahawks and Cowboys, America's game of the week. We got to keep our bias out of it, but I do think Seattle is going to win. They're going to carve up Dallas's defense. It's going to be a shootout. So fantasy players on both sides are going to be ideal this week.
Well, Zach, we know we try to disagree on the show a lot, but I'm going to have to roll with you on the Seahawks too. Look, I can't pick the Cowboys. And I know we're trying to keep the biasness out of it, but the defense of the Cowboys is going to get destroyed by Russell Wilson. But the offense of the Cowboys might put some points up as well.
Yeah, they will, I think, for sure. So next year, the Lions and the Cardinals, they tied last year, remember, but I'm going to take the Detroit Lions. At some point, they have to stop disappointing. I'm going to say it now, depending on how this week goes. This is my last week saying the Lions will win the NFC North.
Go ahead, put that in the bottom of the screen saying Zach wins. But look, I'm going to take the
Cardinals. Next week. I'll concede next week.
Well, I'm gonna take the Cardinals because Kyler Murray is a man on a mission right now. You got him a wide receiver. The offense looks great. Defense looks good too. Cliff Kingsbury looks like a genius. So I'm rolling with the Cardinals.
Next one here, the Broncos at home against the Buccaneers. Gavin, I'm taking the Buccaneers. There's nothing for the Broncos that is scary right now. I don't remember who their quarterback is this week, but they just signed it. I think it was Blake Bortles actually who's going to be starting for them. But I'm going with the Buccaneers here.
I'm going with the Buccaneers, and hot take, Rob Gronkowski gets in the end zone this week.
Does he get his first catch finally?
No, actually, he does have. He already does have
one. Yeah, week 1, I guess, not week 2.
Yeah, no, you didn't have anything week 2. But Rob's gonna get in the end zone this week.
All right, now we do know Monday night's going to be an exciting one. Ravens and Chiefs. We're going to talk about that on Monday. But here's Sunday night football, Gavin. I know you already have a pick pretty well set. The New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. Who are you taking?
Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And that other man named Drew Brees, well, Zach, I'm trying to keep my biases out the way, but when you say some things, kids, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say something. Don't say things where you're going to regret because people won't like you after that. Zach, I'm rolling with Aaron Rodgers, and that offense is really on fire right now. Aaron Jones, Zach, you know it.
Rodgers is having a great season. I think right now he's arguably MVP.
Oh, say that again, Mr.
Aaron Rodgers is having a good season. Yes, I admit it, but we'll see if their defense can hold up. But this week, I think the Packers have no problem beating the Saints this week for a 3-0 start. All right, and then finally here, Gavin, it is the one of 2 weeks, I believe, this year that we are playing each other in fantasy. I'm currently projected 129.5, Gavin 123.8. We got to figure out what are we doing to the loser this week of this matchup.
Well, Zach, I need to get a win in ladies and gentlemen, I can't close games out to save my life. All right, I need Jimmy Butler on my team to close the game. Ladies and gentlemen, pick me as a winner. Final score is not going to be – it's going to be in the 120, Zach. But
yeah, we'll see what happens. Lamar Jackson,
figure it out.
City Monday, that's going to be a lot of points.
We're going to figure it out. Yeah, we're going to definitely figure
Awesome. So we are going to go here. I'm going to read off the fantasy football matchups. And then last but not least, Eagles prediction. So, again, Team Star versus Team Gav. We have Team Boyajian against Philly Pride this week. Philly Pride currently the favorite by 7. Team Betchick against Team Fisher. Fisher favored by 6. Team Tony versus Team Krog. Team Krog by 2. It's the closest one so far. And Team Waxman will be on his bye this week. So lots of exciting things coming up here. Finally, Gavin, today we have to do our predictions here. Eagles. I'm getting the comments now. What are we looking at? I did not rate the league. Good draft.
Hey, go ahead, put that up there. Matt, ladies and gentlemen. Philly, welcome back. How's college doing? But Zach, I don't know. You got the first pick in the draft.
I had no control over that. I had no idea how to change it. It does random before the draft. But with that being said, McCaffrey's out, so don't worry. So in reality here, I gotta ask you, Gavin. I'll let you go first. Eagles, Bengals. Joe Burrow gets his first win, or does Carson get his first win of the year?
I'm going with the Bengals, Zach. I'm going with the Bengals. Because why? We don't know what defense is going to show up. I'm not really worried about it.
We do know what defense is going to show up. An absolutely awful defense.
Exactly. That's the point. And Joe Burrow lost by 5 to the Browns. And Zach, and the Browns weren't banged up defensively. I might have to ride with the Bengals. I don't want to. I hope the Eagles win, but I'm taking the Bengals to win 21-18. One of those weird games as well.
I'm going to take the Eagles in this one, 31-28. I think the offense is going to stay out. The Bengals will take the lead, but the Eagles will end up winning. One note I want to say here, I'm hoping for this, but in reality, Carson Wentz, when he drops back, his feet have been absolutely still in concrete, and that's going to cause some uncomfortable bad throws. I don't know why. Go back to 2017 film. He is jumpy in the pocket. He's able to move around and throw the ball well. That's why he's so good on the run. So that's my big takeaway. We'll continue with that as I continue to analyze film, hoping for the best. Otherwise, it will not be a fun day next week.
Matt, who you got? Who you got, Matt? Eagles or Bengals? What you got?
If he thinks you got a freezing cold take, I think we know who he's taking. But in reality here, we'll let him get his comment in before we close up today's show. It's been a great week as always, and we will continue our discussions, whether it be sports, whether it be real-world issues.
Team Gab, baby.
Anything
Team
else.
Gab.
Team Gab versus Team Star. Let's see who's going to take that victory. With that being said, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition. It's been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I'm unable to get in any hour shows, but we got in 35 minutes today, which was pretty fun. Next week, we're aiming for a few weeks off on Monday from school, so we'll be able to get to it. And Matt, Eagles by 7. I like it. That's what I like to see. We're hoping for. I'm sure, Gavin, you're hoping for it too, but at the same time, I'm too angry for predictions wrong. We'll see if the Lakers can close their series. A lot going on this weekend in the sports world. We'll have to recap it all on Monday. Hopefully, we'll have a full hour show to do that. With that being said, again, thank you all and have a great day, great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Go Birds, baby.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos. Again, thanks for watching,